We learned altogether 4 procedures for constructing confidence intervals to estimate 3 different parameters. So how do we know when and which procedure to use? Next, I will summarize all the procedures for constructing confidence intervals. First, we must determine which parameter is being estimated. Look for the keywords, such as mean or average when estimating the population mean, proportion or percentage when estimating the population proportion, and variance or standard deviation when estimating the population variance. Next, we determine the procedure in the following way. Always use the chi-squared procedure for variances and the z-procedure for proportions. For a simple mean, we need to check whether the population standard deviation is known. If it is known, then we use the z-procedure. If it is unknown, then we use the t-procedure. Remember, before applying the procedure, we have to verify all the assumptions. So, before starting the procedure, we must have already figured out the unknown parameter along with its point estimate. How confident are we that the point estimate equals exactly the unknown parameter? 0% confident. In other words, there are 0 chances that the point estimate equals the parameter. Next, we are going to construct an interval estimate, so we need a new confidence level. Usually it is given in the problem. If not, then 95% is the most common confidence level in applications. If you want to be more confident, make it 99%. If you want to be less confident, then make it 90%. Whatever confidence level you choose, the value alpha is determined so that 1 minus alpha times 100% is equal to the confidence level. Next, we determine the critical values. Depending on the procedure, you may have to do it in several steps. In Z procedures, we only need half alpha. In the T procedure, we also need the degrees of freedom. And in the chi-square procedure, we need both, 1 minus half alpha and the degrees of freedom. Next, we construct the confidence interval by figuring out the lower and upper bounds. For one mean and one proportion procedures, we do that by finding the margin of error first and then adding it to and subtracting it from the point estimate. For the one variance procedure, we compute the lower and upper bounds directly using the formulas, because the interval is not symmetric around the point estimate and therefore there is no margin of error. Finally, we interpret the interval by writing or saying the following. We are 1 minus alpha 100% confident that the population proportion is between the lower bound and upper bound. We always include the units in the answer. Also, it is not uncommon to convert the proportion to percentages and variance to standard deviation by taking the square root of both bounds. For one mean and one proportion Z procedures, it is also possible to derive the formulas that relate the size of the sample to the margin of error, so that we can determine the sample size necessary to achieve a certain level of accuracy. All 4 procedures can be put in one table in the following way. I just summarized all 4 procedures for constructing the confidence intervals to estimate the population parameters with a positive confidence level.